Hey everybody, Steve Gamache here for Chef Knives to Go with another quick look product review. And what we have this time is the Tsunehisa VG10 hammered Damascus knife. It's a 240 Gyuto. We got it all the way across the page here. So let's do that again. So it's the Tsunehisa VG10 hammered Damascus Gyuto 240 millimeter knife. And the Damascus, the layers is sometimes known as suminagashi. And the hammered can be called Tsushime as well, so there's a few different names for it, but well executed blade. The core steel on this is VG10 full stainless steel down the center. You can see that right at the edge there. And the cladding is a multi-layered stainless materials with a hammered or Tsushime finish to it as well. And then you can see the layers come through as it's ground down towards the edge. So it's a real pretty blade, nice combination of interesting characteristics on the visuals. Weight and dimensions can vary a little bit from knife to knife. This particular one is 171 grams or 6.0 ounces. The edge length is 247, so it's a pretty long knife, 9.7 inches, so it's got some length to it. The overall length is about 400 millimeters or about 15.7 inches-ish. And then the spine thickness, these are pretty thin, just all the way down, about 2 millimeters what I got all the way down the spine. Not a lot of taper to it, but you've got a generous grind here that starts, you can obviously see where that starts between the hammering and the layers showing up on the cladding. So we've got a pretty generous grind, and we get pretty thin on that tip. So the tip should work really well through product. Let's take a look at the back part, the choil, and it gets pretty thin there as well. So this should be a nice performer. It's fairly stiff given the thinness, and a nice fit and finish on it. Height at the back is about 51, so you got plenty of height there for your knuckles or your finger clearance on the cutting board. The handle is an oval, what they call sandalwood, kind of looks like rosewood-ish to me, with a black pack-of-wood ferrule on it. Nice fit and finish on that handle. There is a intentional gap here between the neck and the handle. Sometimes that's known as Tokyo style, but it's an intentional kind of tribute to the old style of putting on handles. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just a deliberate look they chose. Good glue up job where the tang goes into the handle. Let's see, we need our beauty shot for this, guys, so let's do that. So this is the right side of the blade as you'd be holding it. Let's kind of get a close-up here. So you do have some laser engraved kanji on the left side of the, or the right side of the blade. It's hard to see with the video camera, but it is there. Got your hammering, got your layers, got your core steel at the edge. And then on the left side of the blade, there's no markings other than the pattern and then the layered finish on the grind. The spine's got a little bit of relief on it on the edges, and so does the choil, so could probably have a little more rounding of the edges there on the choil, but it's not bad at all. 5, maybe 6 out of 10 on my out-of-the-box edge scale, so decent out-of-the-box edge to it. And again, fairly stiff. I'd say nice fit and finish to it. Cool looking blade. Lots of visual stuff going on if that's your style. That's why Mark, or Chef Knives to Go, Mark and Sue have so many knives, because everybody's got their own particular style of what they like. Trying not to cut myself here. So what we've got is a fairly flat back third of the blade. It kind of flows into that stop there, flows in, and then you can see a little bit of gentle belly towards the tip. This tip is not going to go super high. I'm digging in about right there, so I can get... You could clean that tip up just in the last millimeter or two when you sharpen it to give that a slight upsweep to increase your height here on the rock. But this little rock, one of the advantages of a longer blade is you don't have to lift it as high. You don't have to pump the handle as much for a rock. So that's why some people use 270s for prep, because they don't have to crank that handle up and down as much as a shorter knife. One nice thing about a longer blade too is you can use different sections of the blade. So if you're using the middle part and that gets a little dull, you can use the back part or the front part or towards the tip, so you can kind of work that blade all the way down and get the whole thing more evenly dull, if you will, and then sharpen the whole thing. So a longer knife, again, lets you use sections of the blade that maybe you haven't used as much and kind of keep that thing going before you have to touch it up or sharpen it. So just a real nice blade, light. Oh, I don't do the balance point. I can't forget that. So here is the balance point, and it's going to be a little bit forward of the pinch grip just because the handle's fairly light, and it's a pretty big blade. And it's still pretty light at 6 ounces, but a little from a pinch grip standpoint, you've got a little blade forward weight bias to it, which is nice because it gives you a little bit of kind of a cutting power feel to it. So as you can see, this thing's pretty shiny. So just a really nice looking package, all stainless, easy to take care of. We'll stop rocking there. This is the Tsunehisa VG10 hammered Damascus Gyuto 240mm knife.